comparison with my performance. Am I better this year than I was last year? Have I taken off some of the sharp edges that were there a couple of years ago? Is it getting a little better in my own presentation, my own performance? And not only my performance on the platform and on the stage, but most important is your performance in dealing with people one-on-one, dealing with people in a small group. Sometimes that performance, that situation is even more important, than doing the performance on the stage in Barcelona or Japan or Orlando. Because the few that you might have around that could become the big leaders in your organization for the future, the performance you have there, what you say there, how you say it there, can be just as important and perhaps even more important than your performance on the stage when there's 1,000 people to listen. But I think that's a good thing to consider as you move through the year. Take some time to review your performance. Also, in reviewing your performance, it's not a bad idea to have some people around you that you trust their counsel, and let them help to evaluate your performance. And here's why. Sometimes when we're so busy during the day and we're so busy and when we're doing the meeting, it's hard to sort of think about how we're doing. We just go do it. But someone who might observe some things that we don't think about might be able to give us some very wise advice. So those that are close around you, don't hesitate to ask them, how did I do? How was that presentation? How was that training class? How was my workshop? Was it okay? What kind of grade would you give me? Or on the scale of 1 to 10, how would you evaluate my performance? And if it's someone you trust that can give you good feedback on your performance, your language, your style, how you make the presentation, your attitude and how it comes across, your personality, maybe some things that they can see that you can't see. Because sometimes we get so involved we can't see it ourselves. But someone else on sort of the outside looking in can observe. Not to tear you down, but to give you some good feedback and some wise advice. This is a good one, reviewing your performance with yourself and with the help of others that are around you that can give you wise advice. Now here's another one this year that can make this a fabulous year for you, and that is to face your fears. We've all got them. The fear that we might not do a good job. The fear that it might not turn out as we hope it would. The fears that are lurking there, some that have come and have been there even maybe since our childhood. Life is consisted of both fear and faith. Faith, of course, is the ability to overcome your fears. But what you have to do in terms of your fears, about perhaps your own inadequacy, not feeling strong enough at the moment, you just have to face those fears. And you just have to go to work on them. What could I do to eliminate this fear, or to at least overcome it? Or what I like to say, drive it into a small corner. Because there's always the conflict between faith and fear. But here's what faith can do. Drive your fears into a small corner. But if you start amplifying your fears, guess what your fears can do? Drive your faith into a small corner. There's always a contest between one and the other, between good and evil, between darkness and light, between sickness and health, between liberty and tyranny. The contest is always on. But what we have to learn to do is face that dark side, face that difficult side, and see if we can't manage it. Maybe not eliminate it altogether, but drive it into such a small corner that it does not affect the rest of your performance. So face your fears, whatever they are. This is a good year to do that. You've got the strength to do it. You've got the help to do it. You've got the support to do it. This is the time to do it, this year, to make this your best year. Here's the next one that I would give you good advice for this year, and that is to exercise your willpower. No telling what you can do if you set your mind to do it. Two of the most powerful words in the language, I will. Benjamin Disraeli once said, nothing can resist a human will. And if you'll use those two words a little more often this year, I will learn the disciplines. I will get better every day. I will make sure my presentation is the best. I will make the best of my opportunity. I will maximize my time. I will try to correct my errors in judgment better this year than last year. I will do a superb job. If you'll use that willpower, I'm telling you, the I will power that you have is unmatched. If you'll just use it. Sometimes we have a lot that we aren't using. It's like having a bank account and you never write a check. That would be a little strange. Or you have a $10 million bank account and you keep writing $1 checks. What I'm asking you to do, you've got a $10 million bank account of willpower. What I'm asking you to do this year, and that is to write some larger checks. Take on some larger challenges. And say to yourself, hey, I've learned to solve problems in the past. I will solve the problems of the future. I will correct my mistakes. I will learn to meet people that I was afraid of before. I will learn to master getting up and talking in those public meetings. I will become a leader and help people with their Herbalife future. I will make the necessary changes. I'm telling you, you can do that. Here's another one. Admit your mistakes. Sometimes we have to admit our mistakes to others around us that we sort of let down because of those mistakes. We have to admit to others that we're counting on us, that, it didn't work out, and we made those mistakes. But here's the most important, and that is to learn to admit your mistakes to yourself. The most powerful counsel that you can possibly have is the counsel of your own conscience, the counsel of yourself. We appreciate the counsel of Mark Hughes. We appreciate the counsel of the president's team, the chairman's club. We appreciate the counsel of the leaders who are around us. We appreciate even the counsel of our family. We appreciate the counsel of our close friends. We appreciate the counsel of those we trust, whose information can be valuable to us. But here's the most important counsel to start trusting, and that is your own personal counsel. You've got some ways to figure out answers to problems that you probably haven't even tried. Admit your mistakes to yourself and sometimes just sit down with your private self and have a conversation. Here's where I blew it. Here's where I could have done better and I didn't. Here's where I let it go when I should have put it together. And just admit that to yourself and look down inside your heart, inside your soul, and then seek your own counsel and make those necessary corrections and move on. We're all going to make mistakes. We're all going to have those kinds of days when it doesn't go well. We're all going to say things at times that's out of place, untimely. We should have restrained our language when we didn't. We lost our temper when we shouldn't have. All of that's going to happen to all of us. The key is to learn from it, from the counsel of others, mostly from the counsel of yourself. Here's another great bit of advice for this year to capitalize on the Herbalife momentum especially, and that is to refine your goals. Some good questions to ask. Why did you join Herbalife? Why were you attracted to this unique enterprise? For some of you, I know it was the products. You got fabulous results. For some of you, it was the financial opportunity for the future, or the combination of the products and the financial opportunity. Some of you heard about the teaching and the training and the classes that we have that help people with their personal development. You were interested in that. For some of you, it was a chance to be rescued from financial oblivion. You hadn't found answers, perhaps up till the time you found Herbalife. Or you've always wanted an enterprise, didn't have one. You've always worked on the job, worked for someone else. Now a chance to work for yourself. A chance to multiply your efforts here where you couldn't in some other situation. I don't know what all the reasons were that you joined Herbalife. What attracted you to this unique man, Mark Hughes?